All Things Black with Garland and Calvin. I'm Calvin. He's Garland. That's the championship belt. But again, we'll get into the championship belt another time. Welcome back, family. Welcome back. As you know, we finished doing the show last week. We did all 10 episodes of the recap. And now this week, we are starting to recap Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. So we're going to recap episodes 1 through 3. And then we're going to concentrate on episode 4, which is called Don't Sleep. But before that, what's going on, Garland? How you doing, sir?
I'm feeling great. Good weekend and all, and complain, man. Just doing the do, making it do what it do. What about yourself?
Yeah. Same thing, man. Same thing. Actually, just came back from Charlotte over the weekend. The wife and I went
Okay.
down there. I told you my son turned 21 last weekend. He went down to celebrate with his oldest sister, him and his other sister. So we just met them down there. They didn't know we were coming, so we went down there because all three of my kids ain't gonna go to Charlotte, and Daddy ain't gonna be there. So we're down
Right,
there just
right.
hanging out for a little while over the weekend. So nice little relaxing trip.
There you go.
So we have a good time. Had a good time.
North Kakalaki. North Carolina people hate when you say that, but what the heck?
Hey, they're
People be
all so
saying be
nice.
more. Yeah, they're so nice. The greens are good. My wife has family in Eastern Carolina, and they're the sweetest people, man. And yeah, North Carolina is a great place to go.
Good place to go. Good place to go. Just want to give a shout out. I see people are speaking to us. How's everybody doing? Thank you for joining
Tanisha,
us. Oh, real quick,
Tanika.
if yeah, yeah, Tanitra, our even though the shy isn't on, Ronnie's girlfriend is still here. um, just real quick for everybody that joins us, is if it's your first time or if it's not your first time, if you want to, as you see, we have the comments posted on the side of the screen. If you want your comment to show up, you would have to comment from the group page and not my personal page, or you could comment from the YouTube feed or the Twitter feed. But if you're on my personal page watching this and you comment, we will not see it in the group chat, so you'll have to switch to one of those three. And if you're not part of the group All Things Black with Garland and Calvin, just send us a request for an invite and we'll accept you. You'll be able to do it. Also, if you want your name to show up, you'll have to give permission to Restream to post that from Facebook. I've put the link in a few times. I'll put it in again after we do this. So for now, if you don't have that link, it'll just show up as Facebook user. So, but anyway, let's get started, Garland.
I gotta before we get into this, I gotta give it up to 50 Cent, because yeah, I thought he was gonna disappear after, he broke on the scene and he got a little bit tired after a while. It kind of got into, like, oh, he's just a troll. But this whole thing with this power piece, he's actually made that thing last more than 15 minutes. And so I had to give it up to fifth. This is kind of not that he wrote the series or anything, but his influence behind it is definitely big. And so let's jump into it. Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. Um, Now, Power Book 3, Raising Kanan is a prequel set in the 1990s that chronicles the early years of Kanan's start. This is the character first played by executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, on how he got into the drug game. And so Raising Kanan is the third installment from the Power universe, which was birthed from the show Power. Now, most of us know what Power was. Power was about the rise of James Ghost St. Patrick and his dream to become a legitimate businessman. After several seasons, Ghost is murdered, and the story picks up with the second installment, which focuses on the life of his son Tariq. Everybody hated Tariq. That's why I don't think anybody watched the show, because everybody hated the character Tariq. And so, who goes deep into the drug game to get his mother out of prison and to build a future for herself. And so that leads us up to this one, Power Book 3. And so Kanan is the only child of a drug dealing royalty in Southside Jamaica, Queens, through his late father, Def Con, and his mother, Raquel Thomas. Now, Raquel took over the business of her boyfriend post after he was murdered, with her brothers Marvin and Lulu serving as her lieutenants. Now, we meet Also, his cousin Laverne, better known as Jukebox. A lot of us remember Jukebox from the Power series. And so this is where we get to meet a young Jukebox who wants to be a singer. And she runs with a boosting gang, stealing high fashion clothes and selling them on the street. Now, in the opening episode, we meet 15-year-old Kanan as he's a high school student who wants to be in the family business. A bright student, his mother wants him to concentrate on his education. But after killing Buck 20, one of his classmates, who he's a little jealous of and has the girl that he wants, Davina, when he thought a rival drug crew led by Unique was taking over his mother's territory, she reluctantly puts him in the game. And so in episode three, Rock, she buys some inside information on Unique's re up, which she gives to Detective Howard, who's the main police character in this installment, to use for a drug bust. And so we pick up with episode four, Don't Sleep, and it opens up with Unique dealing with the ramifications of the bust. His connect, Dean, decides to hold the re up until things calm down with the cops. You know, Unique, he's an intelligent guy. He knows immediately that Rock was behind his re up getting ambushed, but he didn't just order a drive by to take her or others out. No, he thought logically and he bided his time. And so going after Rock wouldn't get him his product back. That's what he needed. So he sought information and found a Wellington participant in Kanan's crush, Davina. Now, poor Davina, you know, Davina is stuck between a rock and a hard place. She's basically raising her little sister, trying to make ends meet. And while it's obvious she has an affection towards Unique's offer was something she couldn't pass up when put on the spot. And so, with Davina's information, Unique's crew robs the stash house where Rock and the crew has their money and the drugs. And Uncle Marvin, who's a very interesting character, and we're going to talk about Uncle Marvin a little bit further. He had left to take some of the cash over to the new stash spot, and when he comes back, he sees the robbery in progress, and he runs up on the truck, crashes into the truck, and after a shootout, the a couple people from Unique's crew gets away, and he goes into the house where Kane is being held by. Now, Jukebox storyline, both with her budding relationship with Nicole and her music dreams, started to take greater shape in this episode as well. And so, after Jukebox's soliloquy about Ralph Lauren, culminating in her giving Nicole the polo jacket, their romance is just beginning, and it's beautiful to see Jukebox let her walls down. But you can't help but get this feeling that things are not going to go as great as they've been going. And so, were you surprised that Davina helped out Unique?
Actually, I was, but first, before I get into that, real quick, if you notice, everybody has nicknames. Back in the '90s, the nicknames were the joint. Like I had a couple different nicknames. My rap nickname was ICC. I mean, I got a rap for that. I
No,
ain't
no,
gonna
no,
bust
no.
it out
Hold
for
on, hold
y'all
on,
now.
yo, hold on. ICC, ICC. Okay, man. All
I
right.
ain't have I have no ice. I had no diamonds, nothing like that. But I was ICC, and my name, my initials are CC, so it just kind of fit right in there. I also was. We were in the rap group of lovers, me and my two cousins, and I think I was Don Juan. I think I was Don Juan. Then, then we had another group where we were named we were called the Bomb Squad. So all of our names were like bombs, like Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and I think my name was Napalm. And we used to
Wait, are
say we
you
was going.
serious?
I'm dead ass
Are
serious.
you serious?
I'm dead ass serious. And we used to say we was gonna go to the club and call in a bomb threat before we got there to let them know we was coming. I'm glad we never did that because thinking back now, that wasn't a good idea. But yeah, yeah. But anyway, to answer your question,
Napalm and ICC.
to answer
Okay,
your
all
question,
right, sorry, man.
I was slightly surprised, but we don't know enough about her character to see her loyalty. That kind of let us see that her loyalty was definitely to her family because she wanted to get her mom. You know, he dangled that whole rehab in front of her, and she wanted to get her mom clean. Her loyalty was also to Buck 20, but she seems to really like Kanan because just like Unique said, you know, I know you heard the rumors. That's his best friend. Like, how you not connecting them together on this killing? And she's all like, well, nah, you know, just as long as don't nothing happen to him, I believe him. Yeah,
Right.
she just yeah. So I was kind of surprised, but again, we don't know. I don't know enough about her character to find out her loyalty. But clearly, her loyalty lies with her family, and then maybe Kanan, and then everything else after that.
Yeah, I really like the unique character. He's played by Joey Badass, one of my favorite MCs right now. American Badass. It's a great album if you ever want to listen to something. It came out a couple years ago and all, but and he just won the Academy Award for short film. I forget the name of the film, but it's outstanding. It's on Netflix, and so I really,
Yeah,
really,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
saw that. I
yeah,
saw
it's real good. And so it's that the power of money, this the temptation of living a comfortable life. I think it's always there, and you know she's kind of stuck in this rock and this hard place because she wants to believe Kanan that nah, he didn't have nothing to do with it, but a lot of times the streets don't lie. And so after hearing what's going on in the streets and hearing what the street is saying, she still is kind of just leery. Yeah, Kanan, he's bringing by some groceries, and he's paying attention. He's the crush. He's the boy that's been sweating you since second grade. But I think because there is this unstable thing of, well, maybe he could have done it. I'm not necessarily surprised. And people would do anything to help their parents. This is I love the realistic nature of this because this is right in the middle of the crack era. And so you really had families like mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters really just breaking apart because of the crack epidemic. And so, that kind of portrayal of, this impact of this drug in this community is definitely, something that'll make anybody say, hey, I'll do anything I need to do to try to save my family. And so I love both of the actors. I definitely love some of the fashion, especially Unique's jacket. That's some old troop joint that you got, made at the special like Dapper Dan. That's a Dapper Dan type jacket, and so
hmm
that he's running this crew this way, and they in there with the asymmetrical box cuts like they Kid and Play and stuff. Is definitely a real good piece, and so yeah, I'm not really surprised because, like I said, I think it's always that what if component to did Kanan do it or not?
And I see some people commenting about how did they not see Kanan shooting along with his buddy. And yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's broad daylight. How is nobody not identifying Kanan? But they actually were identifying Kanan. If you remember, they put the hit out on Kanan, so they did they knew he was there. I think the question was whose bullet actually killed Buck 20.
Right.
Kanan said it was his, but his boy said it was his. So I think they were there. Plus, Kanan also has this mom that's a kingpin too. So they would look for any reason not to execute him because they really don't want to start that war. But like Unique told her, the streets are asking for something. We got to give them something. So yeah, I don't think it was a matter of them not noticing Kanan shooting. It was just a matter of who was going to take that hit for the family, and they sacrificed the other gentleman. They didn't
Right.
sacrifice Kanan for that one.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they got rid of D Wiz. So they Lulu goes ahead and he does the Reggie Jackson and he gets rid of D Wiz because they, like you said, Unique said they needed a body. The streets is asking for a body, and so also they ran when they pulled up, and so it's not necessarily everybody was like standing there like, oh, that's Kanan and D Wiz. They pulled out, everybody ran, and they got Buck 20, and so yeah, I think in the hood people don't remember stuff a lot of times because you want to live, and so yeah, it's definitely. And I like the way that this storyline is kind of built up. It's not, it hasn't gotten unrealistic, and so we'll see. Usually TV shows after the first season, then we start to get the stretch of stuff, and like, oh, okay, they run out of show ideas. And so I think this is kind of uh, refreshing that we're getting a story right from the beginning and how they're building up this momentum. And so although they have several different storylines within it, it's kind of all interconnected. And so, speaking
Mhm.
about storylines and stuff, what's another storyline that kind of stands out for you, Calvin? That you are kind of like, oh wow, I want to see how this turns out.
I'm liking it. It seems to be that that sibling respect but rivalry. I think the two brothers are kind of, we like her in charge, but we don't want her in charge. But we
Right.
respect her being in charge, but we could also run this together. Well, especially the guy with the red Mercedes, especially him. I think the other
Martin.
guy is fine just being a lieutenant, but now he's battling the love story. Like I really like their storylines. I like how they're family because it's loyalty and family first with them. And if you notice with this family, it's only the three of them. And of course, Kanan makes four, but it's only the three of them that they actually show running this. Where a lot of times when you get into stories that have drug dealers and kingpins, there's a whole army of dudes that you gotta sit and worry about. It's really only the three of them. They have a couple workers with them, like they have the guy that sits at the crack house for him, well, not crack
Right.
house, sits at the stash house for him. But it's really only those three, and it's concentrated on them. Their family bond is hella strong. Which, when you're thinking about watching Power, I think one of the things that Kanan had a problem with in Power was that Ghost and Tommy kind of got a little too big for him. He went to jail. I believe he went to jail for them.
Right.
And he kind of got a little too big for him. I think his biggest problem with them was they weren't really loyal to him anymore. And
Right.
we kind of see where that may be coming from because they're all about family.
Definitely, and I think in the Power, uh, Ghost and Tasha set Kanan up. That's how Kanan ended up in prison. And so it was like kind of they fed some information out there, police scooped him up, and that's how he had the package, and that's how he ended up in prison. But I really like the Lulu character. To me, it's reflective. Not that everybody knows drug dealers, but some of us do. And it reminds me of the smart drug dealer, the guy who's talented, but he wasn't using his talent in a legal way, or he wasn't doing the things that maybe he really had an interest in because he was caught up trying to do something else. And so I see that Lulu, he has this music mind. He understands producing, he understands the equipment, and but he's really stuck in this place of I'm my sister's lieutenant. I handle the product and stuff. Not that he doesn't do it well, but with the girlfriend trying to encourage him, like you can do whatever you want to do. You just don't have to be stuck with what you're doing. I really want to see how that plays out, and I want to see how this whole jukebox thing plays out because I want to know what made jukebox crazy. We know jukebox was already doing something, doing stuff illegal, and then she turns out to be a policeman in power and doing those things illegally. But you know what was the thing that really pushed jukebox, to go deeper into the game. And so yeah, I'm looking to see how this prequel plays out. I'm even curious if we're going to see Ghost and Tommy at some point later in the series.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Yeah. Someone mentioned that the girlfriend wants him to think bigger. Yeah, but is she really, I mean, I think they're girlfriend and boyfriend in the show, but just like I said about Davina, can we really grasp what she really wants? Like even though the show is new, she's such like a vague character. You know what I mean? Like we're not seeing enough about her. The only thing we know about her now is that she's the young rapper's brother and that she's flirting with the music producer while she has a boyfriend. You know what I mean? So
Right.
what are her real motives? We really don't know that right now. She is telling him to think bigger. That is true. But is that what she really wants, or is that what she's just kind of saying to get what she wants out of the whole thing? So we don't know that yet. Someone also mentioned they like this better. Well, they like Power Book 2 with Tariq. I actually like Power Book 2 with Tariq also. A lot of people didn't like that.
I can't
The
say anything I didn't
one
see.
of One of the disappointing things were for me, they had a basketball player there. When the trouble hit, he sounded like a straight old Sambo. I don't know what we gonna do, Tariq. They gonna come get us, Tariq. I can't. I don't know what we go. You gotta watch it, bro,
I
because
gotta
he
watch.
is
I'm watching.
straight. He's a good character, but when he gets scared, that's exactly how he looks and talk. I'm Tariq. You gonna tell her? I ain't gonna. I don't know what we gonna do.
Right, right, right. Yeah, someone said they have to introduce young Ghost and Tommy. Yeah, I agree, but I don't think
Right,
they
right.
meet Kanan until they're like teens, and Kanan is older. So Kanan is like the mentor that brings them in, and so I think there's a good years of difference between Kanan and uh, Ghost and Tommy, and so I'm not sure how they're going to tie it in. I'm sure they're tied in somewhere, but I'm curious of how they're going to bring it together. So yeah, so far, so good. Now let me ask you this: Do you straight out of the Shamar Moore acting school is my man Symphony, the character that plays Symphony? As a matter of fact, they got that light skin quotient in here. As a matter of fact, the guy that plays the music producer, that is Albie Shore's son. That's Diddy
Okay,
Ray.
okay,
Yeah, yeah, and so that's
okay.
Quincy Brown. That's Albie Shore's son. And but let's go back to the guy that's playing Symphony. Do you trust Symphony?
So first of all, did they ever tell us why his name was Symphony? Like, what? Why is his name
Is he a
Symphony?
five
Like,
percenter or something? I don't know. Is he, I'm trying to figure this out. He's a 5% professor? Why is his name is he knowledge supreme or wisdom Allah? I don't know.
well, other than just being a light skinned dude on TV, in a sea of darkness, there's really no need for me to not trust him. Like I think he's genuine. He's a teacher now. I mean, he's a professor. We got to see that real quick at the end of the
Right,
episode. Like, wait a minute, what? He
right,
ate the dude's spaghetti. He complimented his spaghetti. You know what I mean?
right.
And he did something real light skinned. It was a nice move. I've added it to my repertoire when I was younger. He did a nice move when she was trying to get some. He was like, I I want to wait. What? She was like,
Hold up, yo, that's
she
light
was,
skin.
that's light skin. That's real light skin. That's real light skin in him. She
Mine
was
now.
like, she, she was like, "No, fuck that noise." But he was like, I I want to wait. I want to get to know you better. That was real light skin. That's light skin.
Like,
Light skin
Negro, you
dudes
gonna
be
eat this
like,
pie?
light skin dudes be like, stop, stop it,
I
stop it,
must, I
girl.
must be dark skinned at heart because I'll go ahead and take my cut right now.
No, but I have no reason to not trust him.
Right,
He doesn't seem to be in the drug game at all. He was the bartender. They met him at the bar. He doesn't even seem to know about the girls' dealings at the bar. You know what I mean? So I have no
yeah.
reason not to trust him.
Yeah, he's coming off a little bit too innocent. I mean, I know he knows that Rock is in the game. There's no way that he don't
Oh
know that
yeah,
he's walking
absolutely,
around with
absolutely.
bundles of cash and stuff and all that. And it was kind of raw. He up his jock shorts and his jockey briefs on the mat, telling him, oh, hey man, how you doing? I'm Symphony, putting out his hand and say, bro, no, on the computer and your jockey looking like Jim Palmer. What is this? Put
Exactly.
on some clothes.
typing in C backslash backslash colon.
Right. Light skin backslash. I want to
then
take
you
my time backslash.
then you type in quotations S quotations, and then you watch the S do the squiggly line all the way down the screen.
Yeah, I'm done on that one. Like, come on, Haas, you come on, put on some clothes and stuff. But yeah, I want to know what he's coming off a little bit too clean. And so is he like a plant? Is he, it's just a little bit too clean. He slides in, he tending bar, and then he, rocks boyfriend, and now Kanan's in his class and whatnot. So is he going to be like a intellectual that's teaching Kanan stuff in the world? I want to see how
but
this plays out.
but maybe, and I'm thinking maybe because rock is so hard, like rock blows Tasha and Mary J. Blige out of the water when it comes to strong women in this power universe.
Right,
So I'm thinking maybe they bring Symphony on to kind of level rock off, to kind of show rock does have a loving side. Because they did show it, she was definitely into high post, so she listened, so maybe he's not gonna be a plan anything. Maybe he really is there on that show to level her off, which would mean at some point somebody gonna kill his light skinned ass, because that's what
right.
happens. That's
That's what
that's
happens.
just what happens.
Light skin's always the first one to go. Yeah, somebody say he's the feds, he's an undercover cop. Shanika say he's an undercover cop. So yeah, I'm getting the vibes that yeah, it's a little bit too neat. He's a little bit too neat on this. He giving histories of buildings. Yeah, they made the elevator to do this, and then high rises. This is what happened with high rise. Like, dude, are we really talking about high rises and elevators right now? Trying to get these cakes? What are you talking about?
That's I'm telling you, light
Trying to
skinned
stack
dudes
these
just have not light skinned dudes have knowledge of everything that's just random.
cakes. Now, I do know random stuff. Hey man, but that's not like in 1844 the elevator was invented and so. But we see what happens with my man Symphony and stuff. Now, all right, Rock. She gave the information to Detective Howard. They got the re up. Unique. He strikes back. He steals, the money from the stash house. And so, what you think about this upcoming war? Because it looks like they're about to, go to war over this.
Well, actually, if a war is going to happen, it's because the war is forced, and maybe because even though they had the chance to kill Kanan and they didn't kill him, maybe they had the gun on him because Kanan is protected, by his mom. But I don't think they want to go to war. Like, no one has any drugs. I don't think they want to go to war. Now, I don't want to see these drugs keep going back and forth from one crew to another, or these drugs just keep getting stomped on. But I don't think they want to go to war, because they've had plenty of chances to go to war just in the 4 episodes that we've watched, and they
Right.
could have gone to war. So I don't think they want to go to war. I don't think there's one coming up. Plus, this storyline, the way they're writing these first 4 episodes, it doesn't seem to take a common path, and a war would be a common path. They seem to be thinking about this, so maybe they're going to find another way to do this. So we'll see. But I don't think they're going to go to war. I just don't. I don't feel like they're going to go to war. I think they all got too much to lose. And again, remember, there's only 3 of them on the other side.
Right. Yeah. Now, Tanitra, I like this. A good point. His mom is Kanan's mom. She's street smart, and she wants to be book smart. And so she did not get the book smart. She had Kanan young. If you saw the pilot episode, she DEF CON was, probably one of the major movers in Jamaica, Queens, and she used to work the stash for him, and he kept her out of harm's way. But then, he was murdered, and then eventually she started dating High Post. We saw High Post there in the house counting up. the works and all when Kanan came in after he got beat up on the playground. And so, the mom, she's kind of, she's definitely showing this, and this is like something different, Calvin, because usually a lot of times these stories, they're very patriarch led. It's always the man who is kind of making these decisions and pushing the buttons on who goes and who stays. But and we even saw it in the bodega when she was giving bodega about, don't worry about this my bodega now, and hit him with the cash. She looking like, yeah, mommy, I want to be like you. And so, we see this, black woman in a power role, which is, oh, I'm not going to say this story. This is drama. And so I'm not going to get into, oh, it's a bad story. We always drug dealers. I mean, it's a story. It's drama. Let's just take it at that. But it's, I think it's nice to see this kind of role reversal of from the leadership of a woman perspective.
But shout out to Power Universe for that, because Tasha was a strong character and the one
Yep.
left standing. Mary J. Blige in Power Book 2 was a strong woman. And then you come here. So shout out to Power for doing that dynamic. Even in the first Power, the DA's Angela was a strong woman. She had a boss, the black lady that was the DA also. So shout out to Power for not going with the norm. And with that being said, with all these women being leaders, they're still supporting characters in a show based around a concept, as opposed to, even though Power was named after Ghost, Power Ghost was the main character. It was still based around a concept and not just a character. Even with Tariq's show Power 2, and even with this in Kanan, they are the focus, but everything is still kind of evenly spread out through them. So shout out to the Power universe for all of that.
Yeah, thank you. Shanika just said that, what I just said, that, yeah, it was funny, the husband's trying to, in the bodega, trying to run things, and, Rock cuss him out, like, don't worry about what we doing up in this camp. And she kind of like, because she was the one who was actually talking to Lulu to set up the deal. And, the husband came in and, bogarted the way. But, they were like, hey, you don't talk to us, you talk to Rock. This is the boss right here. And so, yeah, I like it so far. I think 4 episodes in is definitely keeping my interest. I like the music. I like the soundtrack with it. I like the feel, because I saw that they're filming it in the Bronx, but it definitely has. You could tell this is not really sound stages. It's not somewhere that's not really New York. It really feel like they up in the barrel and stuff. And I just, I like the way that it's going so far. I think it's been smartly. Oh my God, who is that? Kanan calling
Hey,
me?
somebody's at the door. That you know.
I knew
I,
it.
I mentioned I mentioned that I had rap names, so I probably got different crews looking for me to battle. They've been looking for me for
You
20
put out
years, so
all your names.
they came to battle. So as soon as we get hit, I
MC
forgot. Not
Ring.
only did I rap, but I used to dance on them too, son. They don't want to. So yeah, I'ma handle
MC
that
Ring Along.
when I
I
leave.
see you. I see you, MC Ring Along.
Hey man, hey man,
It's
I'm with
Ronnie.
you. I'm with you. I'm really into the whole aesthetics of the show. The clothing, as you mentioned earlier with Unique, the clothing is there. The haircuts are there. The music is there. The daggone red Mercedes is there. First of all, he
Right.
know if he trying to be incognito, he shouldn't be riding around in that, but he did. But it's all there. They use a couple things in the lingo that are more modern that we weren't saying back then, but I can forgive that kind of stuff. That's not a
Even the
big deal at
accents,
all.
the New York accents, yo, you bugging, son. The whole
Yep.
Dunston language is right there. That's straight Queen.
And also, shout out to for the dog lovers. My man went in there and was like, "So you're not feeding the dog? He coming with me." I
Right.
know all the animal lovers were out here like ASPCA stand up. So shout out to Peter and ASPCA. Is
Right.
ASPCA? Yeah, that's one of them
Yeah, yeah, that's
dog
one of them
names.
John.
That's That's
Yeah,
still around.
yeah,
So shout out to all of that. But yeah, I'm with you. I really like it.
yeah.
And it's a definite change from the Shy because this is definitely hard hitting. The unfortunate thing is that um, when they took when Xfinity lost its contract or whatever they did with Stars, it
Hmm.
took the channel away from the normal lineup, so now
Right.
you got to pay extra for it, and I think that gets a lot of people not to watch it unless you're watching it on the Fire Stick or something like that. So that's the unfortunate thing. And right after, and that was right after the last episode of the regular Power. So
Yeah, someone raised a good question. Why would he crash up the car instead of getting out shooting? Well, he was right up on the truck and he shot all those shots and still missed. And so they still got away. It's obvious that Marvin's a terrible shot because even at point blank range, he still was missing people. And so,
may, maybe,
yeah,
yeah, maybe that's why he wasn't tagged to get his what she call it when the other one killed the guy. What she call it? The home run.
yeah,
He
yeah,
had
the
to hit a
Reggie
home.
Jackson. Yeah, the
Yeah,
home
well,
run.
maybe that's why he wasn't tagged to get his Reggie Jackson on. He might miss.
Right,
She didn't want to
right,
get him to do that. Also, plus, he's seeing them steal the drugs. He ain't got time to get out and be like, "What you doing?" He rolling up and getting his. He can buy another car. He realizes that I can buy another car. A car means nothing. So
right. I don't think nobody live in that block, Shanika. Shanika brought up anybody living that block would have heard the accident.
now I was
It's a
thinking
block
this.
of vacant. So that's why I think they was up in there.
I was thinking the same thing because they just walking in and out with sawed off shotguns, and I was
Right.
just like, so
Yeah, I don't think nobody around them.
clearly, it ain't no white folks in the block because white
Right.
folks be like,
Right. Call the
yes,
cops.
I don't know what they're doing over there, but they're going up and down the steps all night long, and the
Right.
house is boarded up. So,
Right.
yeah.
It's a big trash bag over the window, but it's like constantly people coming in and out of that house. I don't know what's going on. All right, bro. That's all I have for tonight. We got any? Oh, you know what? Closing thoughts. And so, can I go first?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, my closing thought for tonight is focusing on the 2019 NFL MVP Lamar Jackson. Now, if you have been following the news recently, you know that last week, or maybe about a week and a half ago, Lamar Jackson tested positive for COVID. This was his second positive COVID test. He tested positive during the season last year and wound up missing a game because of the COVID test and because of being positive, having COVID. And so Lamar had a press conference today, and at the press conference, Lamar said they asked him, "Well, are you going to get shot, Lamar?" And Lamar said, "Well, I need to talk to my family and the doctors. It's a personal decision, but I still need to gather some more information." Lamar, you've had COVID twice. You played for one of the top organizations in the league. The way that they make money is based on the health of their players. They have to have players healthy in order to play. And they have the top doctors probably in the state providing service to their football team. They've been talking about COVID all last year. You played a whole season with COVID where they were educating players about COVID and how to protect yourself. And then you had a whole off season of information, and you had to be tested every day if you went to the facility. You don't have enough information, Lamar. You need more information. Look, man, I, I whoever maybe Mama not talking to him. I don't know who got Lamar ear, but Lamar, get the shot, my friend. That's all the information you need. There's no one else. You're going to talk to your mother over the doctors. You had COVID last year. You had it again. but you're still up in the air of if you should get a shot or not. And so, it's. I was talking to a health professional today, and they were saying that they really are expecting that maybe October, November, we might be facing the same thing we faced last year at the end of the year, a big shutdown, because as we see with the Delta variant, things are going back up. The numbers are going back up, and we're going into another wave of high infection rate. And so I don't know, with this big money deal that's out there waiting for Lamar. Do you get that money, Lamar? I don't know if you give him that money, because I don't know if you can trust his decision making. If after having it once, he still hasn't seen the light, and then getting it again, and he's still unsure, I'm not sure if that's the face of your organization. So, Lamar, get the shot. You're not going to 1313 on North Avenue for treatment. You are at the Ravens facility in Owens Mills, the castle. And so you're not getting any misinformation, my friend. Go get the shot.
Yeah, man, I don't understand. I'm a Ravens fan. I'm a Lamar fan, and he wants to be, well, not wants to be. He is the team leader. He
The team
talks
leader.
about they're going to get a Super Bowl out of me. I want to take him wherever we can go. Being a leader is more than just on the field when you are the quarterback of a strong organization. And as you mentioned, the kind of money the NFL makes, and even the kind of money that you're making on your rookie deal, you have access to all of the information. You're not just some crazy person on the internet saying, I'm not going to mask up. You have access. So there's really no excuse. And the best, like they always say, the best ability for any athlete is availability. And if you're not available, it doesn't matter what skills you have, because they're not going to come out on the field because you won't be there.
Yeah.
Mine really quick. As I mentioned, I went to Charlotte, North Carolina this weekend to see the oldest daughter and help celebrate with my 21-year-old son, who's the last of my children to become an adult. We hung out with them for a little while, but we let the young adults be young adults, and I got to see their Instagram stories. They're out just doing what siblings do. They're drinking for his 21st birthday. They're at the club. They're traveling to Charlotte. She's taking them sightseeing, and they're taking all these pictures. And I just want to say, I get it now, Mom. I get it. When your babies grow up and you talk about all the good times and you hold on to all these pictures, and when you're growing up and your parents are like trying to spend some time with you, kind of like, yeah, I get
Right.
it now. I saw it. I was like, my babies are grown. Like, I missed it. And I was like, if you need anything while we're down here, just let me know. They only called me, was like, oh, when are y'all leaving? Y'all home yet? Y'all good? They ain't need nothing from me. I get it. Hold on to your kids as long as you can. Kiss your babies. Love your babies. It's great to see them grow up, but it's so heartbreaking as a parent to just watch them live their life knowing that they don't have to depend on me anymore. I guess I did a good job. My kids were raised by an entire village of caring and loving adults. So it's nothing but pride looking at them, but it still hurts. It's a good hurt, but I miss my baby. So I get it. To all you parents out there, make sure you hold on to your kids and hold on to the memories. Anyway, that is it from me,
Great.
sir. Hey, this was a great broadcast for this
It
first
was.
time doing Raising Canaan.
Yeah.
Power Book 3. So next week it will be episode 5. We'll be back again on Monday at 7. We have to talk about a battle. I got some ideas for the music battle, because as you know,
Okay.
this is the
Okay.
championship belt in my possession. It's home. It's home to its true
Good night, Good
true
night. Tanitra, don't let him talk to me like this.
to the true champion. But anyway, we will see you all next Monday, and everyone have a good week. And Lamar Jackson, get that shot, bro. Take this thing seriously. Once again, this is All Things Black with Garland and Calvin. I'm Calvin. He is Garland. That is the championship belt. And good night, everyone. Stay safe.
Peace.